What's good, beautiful people? The Black Thumb here, and today we're going to talk about the best tools all orchid enthusiasts need to start their orchid care journey. So let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on the foundational tools that I think every orchid parent or orchid enthusiast should have to take care of their collection. And these are tools that I use on a daily basis to take care of my orchids. So if you find this video to be very helpful, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And be sure to share this with your friends and family if you feel like it would be helpful for them as well. So with that being said, let's get started with our first tool. So the first tool that I think every orchid parent, orchid enthusiast, and really plant parent should have is a moisture meter and a light meter. So this is a 3-in-1 meter. You can get them individually or you can get them as a combo, which is what I have here. And essentially what this does is this is a meter that will tell you how much moisture is in your potting media. So it gives you really great indicators of when you should water your orchid, if you should water it now versus waiting a day or two more. It also is a light meter as well. So it allows you to see how much sunlight your plant or your orchid is getting so that you don't put your orchid in a position where the leaves are at risk of burning or being basically dying off and getting too much sun, or on the flip side, not getting enough sun and not getting enough of the nutrients that it needs for your orchid to thrive. So everyone should get one of these. This saves me a ton of time. It saves me a ton of guesswork in my orchid care and in my plant care in general. And these are very, very affordable. This is a very affordable piece of equipment for the value that you are going to get time and time again. This will definitely decrease your risk of overwatering. It'll decrease your risk of your orchid or plants having too much light versus not enough light, and it'll allow you to find that sweet spot in your orchid care. So you definitely got to get you one of these. Okay, next up, you've got to get you a good pair of gardening shears. Gardening shears are going to be a very important part of your orchid care, as you may need to trim and prune things off of your orchid as your orchid is growing and going through the different cycles of its life. And typically you'll need this around the time that you are ready to trim back flowering spikes or repot your orchid when you're trimming away dead roots or dead material that is on the orchid that's no longer serving the plant. And so this is a very, very essential tool that you'll need throughout the process of caring for your orchids so that your orchids can thrive. And kind of to go along with that is you always want to clean your gardening shears with either some type of alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol works well. I like to use dish soap and a little bit of water. So these are all things that you should already have in your house. If you don't have gardening shears, you can always just do a pair of scissors. The important thing is that when you are going to be using gardening shears or scissors to prune anything away from your orchid, you want to make sure that your tools are clean so that you're not increasing the risk of your orchid developing any diseases or getting any bacteria or diseases transferred to it when you are caring for your orchid. So that is where the soap comes in, a little dish soap and some warm water, wipe it off. You could also use Clorox wipes. I mean, really anything that's going to disinfect the surface is going to be great, but I like to use dish soap and a little bit of water. So these are also very essential tools that you'll need at all stages of your orchid care to help your orchid thrive. And then next, I think everyone needs a good pesticide or some type of anti or insecticidal soap or insecticidal solution, because let's be honest, when you are dealing with live plants with organic material like bark and sphagnum moss or charcoal or a lot of the different potting medias that are out there, you are likely going to encounter pests. And so having a good, reliable pesticide or insecticide is going to be super important. This is a homemade pesticide that I like to make here. It's organic. It's made of castile soap, neem oil extract, and just water. And if you would like to learn how to make your own organic homemade pesticide solution, take a look at my previous video where I talk about how to get rid of mealybugs using this solution, and I show you exactly how to make the solution. So if you are going to make your own solution at home, you basically need those 3 ingredients. You need water, access to water, neem oil extract, castile soap, And then you need a spray bottle, an empty spray bottle that you can house and store your solution in and use it as often as you can. And I have found that me making my own homemade organic solution pesticide here at home has been way more cost effective than spending, you know, $10 to $20 every time I need some insecticidal soap at Lowe's or Home Depot or your local garden center. So again, everyone needs a pesticide, whether you're going to get the store-bought version or whether you're going to make it at home. You should have a pesticide in your collection because this is going to go a long way with keeping your orchid clean, keeping your orchid healthy, and keeping your orchid growing at the rate that it should be so that it flowers year over year. And you can also use this solution to clean your orchid leaves, and as a result of that, you also want to have just some extra rags hanging around. So this is an old t-shirt that I've cut up that, you know, it cost me very little, obviously. And I'm all about cost savings and doing things that are affordable but effective. And so having some extra rags around, using the organic pesticide, or even just a little bit of dish soap and water in a spray bottle to clean your leaves so that your leaves are staying dust free, so that they're really maximizing the amount of photosynthesis and sunlight that they are getting, which helps to feed the plant, which also helps it to thrive. So again, pesticide, whether you're making it at home or getting it at the store, get you a little rag, whether you're cutting it up at home and using old t-shirts or you're getting something really, really affordable at a store. These are all essential products that and essential tools that you'll need to keep your orchids clean, healthy, and thriving. All right, so let's finish up with our last tool, and that tool is an extra pot. And so this is a plastic pot, and as you can see, it's got lots of great drainage holes in the bottom. And what I love about these plastic pots is, number one, they're great for beginners because you get lots of visual feedback. We also know that there is a lot of drainage in the bottom. And I would say probably the number one reason why I love plastic pots is because, number one, they're reusable. You can reuse them, but also they're very cost effective. So these pots, you can typically get a bunch of these for, so this one was $1.49, as you can see. But typically if you buy them in bulk, you can get them for almost probably around that, if not a little bit less per unit. And so this is a great place to start, especially for our beginner orchid parents and orchid enthusiasts who are just kind of playing around with the idea of rescuing and reviving orchids or taking care of orchids. But you will need extra pots around because the time will eventually come where you need to repot an orchid and elevate it or upgrade it to a larger pot. So depending on the size of the pot that your orchid is already in, that will determine what size pots you need to keep around in your collection when that time comes to repot. So this is a 5-inch plastic pot. So typically if I'm working with an orchid that's in a 3 or 4-inch pot currently and wanting to repot, this is the perfect pot to upgrade to. And so again, you want to make sure that when that time comes for repotting, you want to increase the pot size by 1 to 2 inches because orchids like to be snug, but they do want a little bit of room to stretch those roots out and expand. So again, this is a great option and a great tool and an essential tool that you will need to keep your orchids thriving and to have a seamless transition of your orchid care from the current home that it's in to the next home that it's going to. All right, so that is all I have for you all today. I hope that you were able to get something out of these essential tools. All of these tools, again, are tools that I use on a day-to-day basis when it comes to my orchid care and my other plant care. I will have links in the description to all of these products, and you can get those through my Amazon affiliate links and maybe some other links that I may put in the description if you are having trouble accessing these tools, because I think all of these tools are a couple of things. They are affordable, they are effective, and they are an efficient way for you to care for your orchids so your orchids keep thriving. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If this video was helpful to you, please go out and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like and comment and share, and let me know if there are any essential tools that you use in your collection that you feel have been such a huge help and have really changed your orchid care game. And as always, I hope that helps and your orchids keep blooming.